I just don't think it's fair.
Well, there is something slightly different about this pick ban that Origen have been doing every game, which is banning Camille when they're blue side. So it kind of opens up another for Vitality.
Well, now they're just going to ban the Zyra, which is usually what you see on a blue side ban anyway. So it's almost like they just had a gentleman's agreement. They just swapped them around.
Yeah. What's the point of picking sides, Vedius?
Yeah. But the Camille ban is something that really fascinates me. The fact that Origen have banned it in every single one of their games, regardless of what side they're on. I think that's absolutely fascinating. Because it just says that they do not want to play it or play against it. You know, there's a lot of question marks surrounding that ban.
Origen do not want to play against the Ivern either. So we see that banned away this time. Will the last ban for Vitality be? Well, might open the gates for Kha'Zix this time on Wisdom.
I mean, that would be nice to see. I feel that...
There's no Rengar ban yet.
The Rengar, or you challenge Wisdom and you say, can you play Rengar? So far, a lot of the challenges that have been issued have been met with disappointment for the team that issued challenges.
And no challenge issued this time.
So I think it's the smart thing to do. So now, if you're Origen, you look to prioritize either the Malzahar or the Kha'Zix.
Yeah, they're both up and available, but it's the Kha'Zix that they take. So this means Vitality should be the ones that get their hands on the Malzahar.
So the risk you have with actually picking up the Malzahar is that Misfortune is available.
That's true.
So you have the counter pick.
And Lulu.
Should Origen want it.
Courtesy of the Unicorns.
Yes, that is available too. But this is the thing, like, because Vitality actually have final pick on red side, like for the first half of the draft, you don't actually have to prioritize it this early on. You can wait to see what Origen pick. Personally, I don't think this makes the most sense, because if you actually waited, then if Origen choose to pick the Malzahar, you can pick the Misfortune, you get the counter pick. And the problem is if you pick it now, then Origen, I suppose you force them into choosing their counter pick. That's the advantage here, because if they don't pick it now, then you have the element of being able to pinch it on the side of Vitality.
Yep, well, for Origen, we'll see if they do end up getting that counter pick in this round, and if not, Vitality might be banning it away in the next phase of bans. But they also grabbed themselves the Jayce. So the Nukeduck did play. It's also takeaway from Satorius.
You have a lot of flexibility with the Jayce. It has actually been played by Nukeduck before. Yet to see it on Cabochard, but that's one of the strengths that you have. You can move him up to the top lane, move him up to the bot. And I'm excited to see where it could go. It means that you also, Origen can't really pinch a certain role. They can't pinch top and they can't pinch mid because you don't really know where that Jayce is going to go. So it offers a lot of value being able to get this on this side of the draft.
Yeah, it makes the second ban phase really interesting. They've locked in the Varus for Tabzz. Do they now take the Misfortune? Or the Lulu?
Or the Lulu.
There we go. Shields!
I think it makes sense.
Is the answer.
You want to make sure that you have a strong bottom lane if you're Origen. Lulu does incredibly well into Varus, and this bottom lane in particular, because both of them have ways to interrupt the Varus ultimate. So you're able to provide that protection.
So Djoko has gotten an Olaf lock-in once again. This is something that Vitality have heavily prioritized, actually, when you know, the very top-tier junglers have been taken away.
Well, he clearly considers it something that's good into Kha'Zix, and I mean, he's definitely not wrong, because the early clear speed, when you factor in from Olaf, is actually very strong. In terms of an early 2 versus 2 or a 1 versus 1, Olaf can actually come out ahead. You have to be a little bit aware of the isolation damage, but still, it's possible for Olaf to be able to trade fairly evenly with Kha'Zix, and he scales very nicely. The big issue you're going to have, in my opinion, is against the Lulu, because Lulu can actually buy enough time for the Ragnarok ultimate to run out, and then because he spent so long trying to dive onto the backline, he runs out of cooldowns, he runs out of frontline tanky stats, and then you're able to nuke him down. So it becomes a little bit harder for the Olaf to be able to dive onto that backline.
Yeah. Question will be if Origen are going to be holding on to all of their CC until after the Ragnarok is pushed off. See if that's the case. I mean, Vitality could be building themselves a pretty solid catch composition, but no tanks so far. As we go through the second ban phase, the Ashe, the Jhin, they're all taken away, which means the Caitlyn, most likely the next choice.
Well, you're forced onto it now because this is the advantage of picking up your jungler now for Origen, in the sense that they can pinch that role. So they were able to take advantage, forcing Vitality onto this Caitlyn.
On the flip side, too. I mean, pinching the top lane is Vitality. They take away the Maokai, they take away the Poppy. Question is, what's Satorius going to be putting himself on? There is still a Rumble.
Yep. Jayce actually does reasonably well into the Rumble because Rumble kind of has to auto-push, so Jayce can punish that. If you're Origen now, you're looking to round things out with your mid laner. You could go for a Corki again if you wanted to be safe. You have no front line, which it could very well be a big issue for Origen, but at least it means that because Syndra is still available, because Ryze is still available, Corki is kind of like the safe option.
Yep, wouldn't be surprised. And there it is. It's locked on in. So they have themselves some shields. They have a lot of damage. Not so many tanks on the side of Origen. And the final pick for Vitality is that Ryze for Nukeduck. No surprises there. As we expected, the Jayce could be going up top side to deal with the Rumble. It's a very damage-heavy comp on both sides, in all honesty.
I personally, I like the draft mostly from Vitality. I feel like that maybe they should have put a bit more value on picking up either the Jhin or the Ashe early on, rather than the Olaf. I can appreciate that they wanted to pick it up early because there was the risk of Origen banning it away. But still, I feel like that overall, Vitality have come out ahead of the draft.
Now, but think of the combos, right? I mean, you can Realm Warp the Olaf into the back line. Oh, I hope it happens.
I mean, you've also got the speed up from Jayce.
That's true.
You also factor that in. Ghost, the acceleration gate, the Ragnarok. Like, there's a lot of potential to dive onto the back line, but then maybe you have to
your team has to follow you, though.
Exactly.
I mean, we've seen a couple of Olafs go, like, completely recklessly in, and everyone's just like, nope, nope, nope. Hopefully it doesn't happen for Vitality this time. They are on the cusp of taking a 2-0 here. If they can pull it off, once again, the Duck and Irian shaking hands to walk off the stage. Will it be the last time for these two in week number 2? We'll have to find out.
Now, the biggest criticism I have for Origen's comp is, as we talked about, there is no real front line. You have a lot of early pressure with the Kha'Zix, but I do feel that Djoko can match it with the Olaf. We've seen him do it before. But when you also look at, in terms of the lanes, I feel like Origen have a good bottom lane. They have a strong potency to be able to push out. In the mid, it should be pretty even. And I think that overall, this could be a slightly more exciting game than game 1.
Could very well be. See if it happens. If you think Origen are going to be able to equalize, hashtag OG win. Remember, keep on tweeting LL Esports and hashtag VIT win if you think just the opposite. Vitality is going to take themselves that 2-0 for this game. Definitely want to keep track of how that bot shapes up. Origen have not been able to really make too much do on that side of the map. Maybe that's different this time.
Now, jungle starts are something that we need to keep track of early on, because in game 1, it was a big determining factor in what enabled the snowball. Thanks to that Kha'Zix getting a good start. But this game, Vitality are going to change up their jungle pathing.
4-member stack. Death Brush. Pings. See if they can get Wisdom. Nope. It's not falling for it. Vitality get cold feet.
Well, they know that they're going to get spotted out by the ward. They haven't been spotted by Origen yet, so they're going to change their gank path just a little bit.
NaeHyun, he's going to see him. Ward's down, and the game is up. Still committing to this. Steelback and Hachani moving deeper and deeper to get some deep vision in since the start. But Origen are going to respond in kind. Cabochard, it's level 1 Shock Blast available, sends it out, spots Wisdom. Djoko's going to ghost on. Oh, they're committing to this one. Axe is flying. Wisdom's going to have to burn his flash. That's worth.
Summoner for Summoner. The Ghost will be up and available sooner than the flash from Wisdom. This is definitely going to hurt his early gank potential. And honestly, Cabochard can now afford to be a little bit more aggressive in the top side. Speaking of top side, have a look at this. Okay, this is actually an interesting thing that we've been seeing more and more from Malzahars. Because you can use the Voidlings to tank, you can actually just spawn them early and steal away some of these camps. So the fact that Kha'Zix is starting topside and his flash is down will enable Vitality to steal away this buff. And I wonder whether or not they're going to give it to Hachani or Steelback. I personally think it has more value on the Malzahar because of how potent he is in terms of harass. But they've decided instead to give it to the ADC.
All the same. So, Steelback gets himself a red buff to start. Hiiva is actually going to run smack tab into them, and he backs off just in time. Still, they can throw some weight around here. Hachani, the Voidlink spawn. They got the exhaust on. These guys aren't pulling any punches to start this game off. Hiiva's already getting low. He's going to have to nom a biscuit.
I'm not sure if the exhaust was necessarily worth it. Yes, you do get a big chunk out onto Hiiva, but with the red buff, you should already have a bit of an advantage in the early game anyway.
Not to mention the level 2.
Oh, level 2 already, of course. That's a big thing as well. This is really going to swing the early laning in favor of Vitality. But remember, the junglers are still who you want to track, and now that Wisdom, he's had to invest his resources into just clearing the top side because he knew that he wouldn't be able to get the level 3 given that his red was already taken away. And they've also managed to drop a ward which will just expire on the Krugs, but what Cabochard now knows is that Wisdom will not be topside, which means that he can afford to play aggressive into the Rumble. And he initially did have the jungle support from Djoko, but it looks like he's just going to invest into trying to get as many levels as he can.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. Doesn't have access to his red buff, so he's going to be instead hunting for this mid. If Nukeduck steps a little bit out, might be in trouble. Exhaust is on instant flash, but Nukeduck already into half health. He's still able to turn it around back onto him, but he's got to be careful. The Foss bomb was there. 2 summoners as he ghosts away. Now Djoko's going to run into Wisdom.
No
Wait for him to
flash.
come to him. Oh boy, there goes the axe. Wisdom's going to get the smite down on the crab. Djoko ends up finishing it off. Here we go. He's going to be able to throw the axe for first blood.
Good punish from Djoko. He reads the map movement from Wisdom as we see more action in the bottom lane.
Looking for Hiiva. Tabzz, or Steelback is actually netted forward, but he gets instantly exhausted by the support. They have to turn their way back. Still trying to zone Tabzz and Hiiva off here, and they've burned another summoner.
Another fantastic start for Vitality, and it all backtracks to that single flash that was burned from Wisdom. They knew that he would start topside. They were able to steal away the red buff. Wisdom goes for a gank mid and then moves down into the river, and Djoko reads he's going to go for the Scuttle Crab. I can fight him here. I know he's got no flash. I have double buffs. And honestly, just really good responses in this early game from Vitality.
Yeah, it's really looking great for them. And keeping Wisdom down, it's something that Vitality didn't have happen to them the last time when they were on this Kha'Zix. It was a great start for him, and comparatively, Wisdom's just been kind of shut down. That red buff takeaway has been huge. Hunting around to see if he can grab anything else, but nothing there. And you just take a look at how different game one was between these two junglers.
Look at the damage of 10. You're really able to see the early game impact. And now Djoko's going to run straight into Wisdom.
He's going to go stomp.
They
turned up
passed each other.
Satorius. They just passing ships to the knife, but the axe is going to tag onto Satorius. He's going to have to flash away. The shock blast is there. Wisdom, he's a little bit low, but Djoko and Cabo are right on his tail. The axe is going to finish it. Djoko with another.
Wisdom tries to provide the support for Djoko, but he's still only level 3. He only has a longsword to his name, and now Hachani's found Hiiva.
Oh man, talk about face checking. The Voidlings doing a lot to Hiiva. Even though they picked this Lulu as a counter, he walks right into it and he takes the brunt of the damage. He's going to have to back away, leaving Tabzz by himself.
Very happy that we were able to highlight the junglers, because we're seeing it once again. Wisdom try to exert that early pressure, and Djoko's just reading him like a book. Really impressive start. And Hachani's doing so much work on this Malzahar. Just look at the CS differential that we're already seeing in the bottom. But we'll have to get back to that, because both junglers actually completely missed each other thanks to the vision provided by the brush. Djoko realizes that he can actually afford to change focus because Wisdom still does not have his flash. And then a really good axe placement, using the ward that he has in the river to pick up that kill, is now going to give Djoko a 2-0-0 start.
Yes, indeed. He's got himself the boots, cooldown, so he can get a lot more and get that clear really fast on there. They've been denying so much pressure, and speaking of denial, down on the bottom side, it really has been all around keeping Tabzz lower on the farm, but now Djoko's going to get some help from Hachani to try and stop
Still no
the
flash.
damage. He's got nothing left available to him, and they walk right into him. Djoko with a third kill. He's bullying Wisdom this game.
Within the 5 minutes that Wisdom has not had flash, Djoko has been able to get 3 kills down onto him. 3 Pyra. People talk about burning that early flash and not really utilizing it. This is probably the most benefit I've ever seen a jungler gain from burning somebody's flash.
Yeah, no kidding right now, and they can keep on pressuring Hiiva and Tabzz down in this bottom lane, even though there hasn't been a whole lot of tower damage. The difference in farm is huge right now, and as a Caitlyn, you just gotta love this. And now Nukeduck's coming on in with the Realm Warp. They're going for the dive, TP, and they get cold feet, they back off. Ultimate for Summoner burned.
This is still fine though, because not only do you take away the teleport from Satorius, you only trade it for an ultimate from Nukeduck, which means that the global pressure from that Rumble is going to be removed. Cabochard now has an opportunity to try and set up a play around the map. And this is just opening more windows of opportunity for Vitality.
Yep, and as expected too, checking in on that top lane, Cabochard is having the easier time dealing with Satorius in these early levels. The Hex Drinker's helping out too to block a lot of that damage up. Wisdom finally gets a crack at his red buff. Let's see if he's able to secure it, because Hachani's going in cheekily.
Still level 3, but
man.
look at how scared Wisdom is.
Oh, the Voidlings are there.
Oh my word!
The damage, he smites for the health! Djoko's running in with the Ragnarok, and Hiiva's got to back him up. They lose red buff.
Wisdom does not have a jungle anymore. Oh my word, this is so rough.
He has
for
been
Wisdom.
evicted from his own jungle. This is a feels bad man if I've ever seen one.
Flash, perma on cooldown. Like, oh man. We talked about the strength that Olaf has. I mean, you can't really call this a matchup when he can freely just walk into the jungle. And to be fair, it was Hachani that did all the damage in that trade.
Yeah, I mean, this is Hachani going deep, but he knew he had backup this time around. And I mean, this Malzahar pick, Origen have to be regretting letting that through this time around.
They even got the counter, arguably, from the Lulu.
I mean, it's a lane counter.
Yeah, but then the red buff on top of Steelback. Hachani's never really been in lane. And now Djoko, he wants more. He's going for blood.
Yeah, Djoko just keeps on pushing. Look at the gold difference right now. Djoko is not just bullying. He is literally stealing everything away. Wisdom can't even get a blue, and now he's going to go down the red carpets there. But Cabo goes to the skies to take him down. Vitality in full control of this early game.
They know exactly what buffs Wisdom is going to go for. They know that Djoko is stronger. Nukeduck has the push in the mid, Cabo has the push in the top, and they're easily able to contest that neutral objective. Wisdom, he's not even level 6 yet. 0-4-0 at 8.5 minutes into this game.
Splat the Bug has been the successful game plan from Vitality this game. We are 9 minutes on the board. Hachani's roaming with the Voidlings to just take away even more jungle. And the gold advantage for them, about 3,000. It's so huge at this point of the game without any towers, without any other buffs, no dragons taken with the Ocean One spawned on the bottom side, and Steelback and Hachani just keep on taking away this bottom. Tabzz is 20 CS down here. It's looking great for Vitality.
I mean, you have to question what OG can do at this point, because you have no jungle support. That Kha'Zix is effectively going to be useless at this point, and the whole setup from Vitality is just so good. It's so unlucky that Wisdom now, this is the second smite that he's failed. They have 42 HP on it. Vitality getting themselves another kill. I feel like they maybe could have gone for the dive. They didn't want to risk it. The flash was down for Rumble, but still, Vitality with another early game start. That, again, is just punishing the lack of flash from Wisdom. Really good abuse coming out from the side of Vitality.
Vitality should be able to secure this bottom turret, if not now, very soon. Djoko has been pretty much parked in this bottom lane for a little while, so he's able to help them secure by being just a scary Viking in the jungle. That's going to be first tower to Vitality and the first tower blood. Hiiva, another axe flies. Now Wisdom is looking to try and make some amends here, but there's still a teleport coming in. Has to immediately turn tail and run. Even though he has the shield on, the glitter lands. They try to stun them up, try to stop them. NaeHyun around the side. Look at how low everybody is. Djoko's going to get shut down. The red carpet's laid out. Steelback and Cabochard are burning low as Satorius had teleported in. Vitality might have bit off more than they could chew here. It is a double kill over to Tabzz. Can Cabochard get away from this one? It doesn't look like it. A triple kill for Tabzz, and just like that, it's 4 for 1.
What was an abysmal start for Origen has now suddenly swung into such a massive team fight win. Nukeduck not being able to rotate down to the bottom lane. Vitality not being able to punish the window where Satorius didn't have his teleport, and OG get the collapse, and they punish the over-aggression coming out from the side of Vitality.
They can start to close that gold lead for sure.
Yeah, I mean, look at the setup. Vitality and Djoko, they just want to force Origen away. And at this point, Vitality should just disengage. They should turn their attention back towards the turret. The flank comes in from Rumble. Look at your minimap. He's teleported to a ward behind them. And then as they're picking off the running away Vitality, there are 5 members of Origen there to just clean up the rest of the fight. Yes, Origen and Wisdom ends up going down. He's not worth anything anyway.
What else is new at this point?
And, you know, you're getting all these big kills onto Tabzz. Really, really good response from Origen, but honestly, a big overstep coming out from the side of Vitality.
Yeah, for sure this time around. A lot of pings flying. Hachani, uh-oh, we've seen this one before. In comes the package. Valkyrie's special delivery of 3 members in Origen takedown. Hachani, just like that's 5 to 5 in kills.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Pyra. We've seen this one before. Hachani getting caught out of position once again.
And he burned flash.
Without even looking at the map. Like, dude, you have no pushing lanes. What are you doing in that position? You can even see Satorius in the river. You deserve to die. It's just,
that's brutal, Vedius.
Just a big misplay. Djoko now burning the ghost.
Well, Djoko's still pretty big himself. He throws the axe, but it splits the upright between Tabzz and Hiiva. Nukeduck had the ghost on, but unfortunately Vitality weren't able to find anything else. So they might head for the dragon and a consolation prize.
Well, they've got the push on bot. They're going to look to take away the reds to just deny Wisdom as much as they can. They could look to make a movement towards the dragon. And you can see the Origen are picking it out, and they're likely just going to have to concede it, because with no control over the bot side, it's going to be very dangerous for them to try and contest. And they are still behind, so it's not like they've all of a sudden, just off the back of that team fight, and now back into the game. Wisdom is still at a big deficit. They're still yet to complete any of their major items. But once NaeHyun gets that Trinity Force is really when you need to keep an eye out on these team fighting power of Origen.
Oh yeah, NaeHyun has had quite a lot of participation in this game, but he hasn't picked up a kill for himself. Tabzz, the ace in the hole, comes flying, but the shield absorbs most of it. So Origen are able to melt through the wave here. Djoko and Nukeduck continuing to push their edge on the bottom side. NaeHyun is going to take a bit of damage. The Rune Prism comes in. They have to turn back around as the exhaust is on. And Nukeduck speeds out of there as he sees Wisdom with the Void Assault coming in. Poor Wisdom just keeps on hunting for something.
The mid lane right now of Vitality has to be careful.
Uh-oh. He's going to get flanked right around the backside. There is the equalizer, and Satorius with the final tick of damage. It was Tabzz that was bait all along.
So now you're starting to see the problem with all of this roaming from Hachani, because yes, he was able to move with Djoko a lot, get a lot of deep vision, get a lot of kills, but he's lost so much in terms of experience that it's now very difficult for him to utilize one of his greatest strengths, which is his ultimate. He also burnt his flash, getting caught out trying to ward. Like, Hachani's just so squishy right now, just in terms of raw stats. Because look, Satorius is literally double his level, double. Like, that alone is enough to pretty much one-shot Hachani.
Yeah, so is NaeHyun, for the record. Considering how they started this game, by denying so much and continually pushing Tabzz and Hiiva off this farm and sometimes off the experience, the fact that he hasn't hit level 6 yet compared to Hiiva, I mean, that's just crazy.
But I mean, look at the gold. It's really not that big of a difference in terms of the bottom lane AD carries. Both Caitlyn and Varus are actually sitting at about the same amount.
Yeah.
A bit of a deficit in the mid lane.
3 kills will do that for you, I suppose.
Yeah.
Tabzz is playing with a lot of confidence.
But a lot of the disadvantage is still coming out from the jungle, where Djoko, he has about a 1,000 gold lead over his counterpart in Wisdom. And that's likely not going to change in the near future.
So how important is it to try and get Wisdom going again? Because he kind of has been a non-starter due to all the pressure, but look at how much damage Origen has elsewhere.
I mean, when you're playing a Kha'Zix, you have to remember that you do scale pretty well, so it's more important that he just gets gold rather than and experience, because he wants to get those evolutions as soon as he can. It's definitely worth tracking to see how well now he can keep up with Djoko, because in these mid-game fights, he definitely is going to struggle, especially against the like of someone like a Ryze, as they go for a dive in the top.
Satorius is going to walk away from one axe, can't dodge the second, but he sidesteps on a shock blast, and Vitality run out of minions.
Djoko is using this ghost whenever he has it available, like the proactivity, but now Caitlyn in a 1 versus 4 mid.
Sleeves a few traps, and NaeHyun is going to take a real advanced position here. No problem, they should be able to knock this one down, but Hachani's coming in, tries for the silence, can't connect. Djoko's there around the back. Take a look at where Ryze is, Nukeduck. Then down bottom side, seeing if he can get a cut off here.
Very risky. If you are a one-man flank, it's often just the team will collapse on that one-man flank. But still, right now, his pressure is still being maintained in the bottom. Hachani now has hit level 6, so at least he has that ultimate available.
Origen really want to knock this tower down. Stepping away from the traps, Hachani continually moving. Nukeduck is not going to step up to this in time, so there it goes. 1 tower for 1 tower. Origen, they're getting closer and closer to equalizing now. Djoko, he's ghosted on real quick like, excuse me, he speeds up real quick like through the Scuttle Crab. Still doesn't have Ghost. Hunting to see if he can find a bug.
Nukeduck, you need to be careful. You have very little vision over the bottom side jungle of Origen.
Nah, he's got a realm warp.
That's not reliable.
That's what I tell myself every time I split push on Ryze.
Well, now I'm looking at Cabochard.
Now we're looking at Hachani.
Now we're looking at Hachani, yes. But I'm actually looking at Cabochard and what he's trying to set up, because he had a big minion wave with Satorius moving away from the turret. I thought he might try and force it.
All right, there's going to be the Nether Grabs. He finally has the level 6, but the Wild Growth and Wisdom is actually going to live this time. Turns to leap on in. Maybe no, it's Djoko who finds a kill, looking for another, and he goes down, taking another with him. Hachani's going to fall, and a double kill to Satorius.
2 for 2 in the enemy jungle. If it results in a mid-tier 1, this will definitely be worth it for Vitality, but questionable plays coming out from both sides. I don't think they're going to get it.
No, not this time. They take a few more chip shots down, but this game's looking a lot closer than the last. That's for damn sure. 17 minutes on the clock, and the gold lead is only 2,000 to Vitality, I should say.
Djoko trying very hard to just maintain and fight over his vision over the top side of the jungle, because Vitality want to try and grab this tier 1 in the top lane. They want to try and open up the map a little bit more, given that they've already taken bot side, they've got a lot of pressure mid, and this is the next best objective for them to get. The problem is that they just commit a little bit too hard. They don't respect the potential collapse. But the fact that in a 2 versus 4, what it effectively became, and Vitality end up trading 2 for 2, is still pretty good for the side of Vitality.
Let's see how it happens again.
But you can see now, Vitality, they want to just make sure that they maintain control over this blue side, right? So they end up initially going for this 2 versus 2. Hachani with the ultimate, they think they can instantly kill Wisdom, but you're now seeing the strength of Hiiva and buying time. Really good exhaust onto Djoko, and I just feel like that re-engage is the big mistake from Origen, because if they just bide a little bit more time, waited for Satorius to come in for the flank, and hope that Vitality overcommit, then that ultimate really could have been a big game changer.
Yeah, speaking of ultimates, Hachani only got access to his like 14 minutes, so like pretty much just a little bit before that fight happened. That's like so late in the game. It's unbelievable now.
Top lane dive.
But Cabochard, I don't think he's getting away from this one. He knocks one, he goes to the skies, he burns the flash, but the wild growth is on, and they're just following through. NaeHyun with the finisher.
And this is the play that Vitality wanted to set up for themselves earlier on. Haven't been able to make work, but Origen, they're able to attain vision control over the top side. NaeHyun had been setting up the push, using the package, and then they punish Cabochard for trying to stay there in a 1 versus 4.
Yeah.
Origen will lose their mid-tier 1 for it, and Nukeduck may be able to get a bit more chunk damage down to this bottom tower. But have a look, you can also see 2 members of Vitality actually posturing, and maybe they could look to set up this tower.
Oh, Satorius has no ult either. Tabzz is going to be able to finish off the tower up top side. So it's 2-4-2 right now. And Vitality, they're going to back away. No more minions to push. Game settles down for just a minute. Let's check in a little bit with some of the items. Satorius just talked about him as Leandri's Torment finished up, so he has a little bit more damage. He's actually had quite a lot of impact on this map. He's been where he's needed to throw down the equalizers. And that's a big power play. It's a big reason why Origen have prioritized giving him this champion a few times.
It certainly will be. I mean, he got through what should have been a fairly rough laning phase. I mean, he's come out 3-0 and 3, so he's been picking up kills, but now they might be trying to kill that streak.
I think that's going to happen right now. There's Shutdown Gold looking for it. It's going to Ryze. Nukeduck with the first kill of the game for himself.
Another oversight from Satorius, I feel, but perhaps Origen can reclaim something with the package.
See, NaeHyun looking to see if he wants to go in, but the Realm Warp makes him disappear.
Boop.
Brings a few minions back, too.
He's out of there. Nice escape from Vitality, but again, oversight from Satorius. We saw it in game 1 where he overpushed topside even though he knew where the jungle was likely to be, and we're seeing it again in game 2. He knew that the jungle was bot side. He knew that Hachani and Nukeduck would not be seeing on the map, and he doesn't respect the possibility of a dive, especially when you have no flash. So, big misplay from him. Gives away another kill to Vitality.
All right, might give one more over to Origen. Nukeduck, no, this time he walks away. Turret taken up in the top. Well, that's all going on. Cabochard's able to finally knock it down, looking for more, but Satorius is heading up to stop that where it stands. And meanwhile, dancing around the Dragon Pit, but hasn't been a big game for Dragons with the Ocean being the first spawn.
Origen reclaiming some control. Honestly, I thought that Vitality would be the ones to pick up that first Drake, but actually not putting very much prioritization on it. Instead, they know that there's a lot of focus from Origen on the bot side, so Vitality are just trying to respond by investing into this tier 2 turret in the top.
They might just get it. They've got 4 members here. There's still a wave, but okay, no. Satorius is going
It's
to
full
barbecue
health,
it.
there's Satorius, there's Tabzz. It's risky to commit too hard on that objective, so. But look at Origen, they backed away as well, so they're not going to be able to pick up the tier 1 in the bottom, and they will get a dragon. So Vitality not quite being able to take much advantage there, and Origen responding nicely.
Get themselves one more Ocean, so they'll have a little bit extra regen out of that combat. Keep themselves nice and healthy. 3,000, still the gold edge for Vitality. A lot of that. It's off the early game. 1 tower separating these 2 teams. Vitality have still made some mistakes, individual ones, but the teamwork is definitely looking a lot better, just as we expected from the previous game. Origen, however, are fighting back this time.
I like the build path from Nukeduck. The fact that he's actually picked up the early Abyssal, not something that we normally see on Ryze, as Djoko taking a lot of damage.
Oh, there's a lot of poke. He's going to have to Ragnarok. There is the equalizer. Wisdom looking to finish the job, but he can't find an in, so he burns his ultimate, doesn't get anything out of it. Meanwhile, Nukeduck is continuing to push on the bottom side, unopposed.
Pretty much where he spent his entire time. Satorius has to go down. He's the only one with teleport. NaeHyun is on the top, but he doesn't have the same kind of a push. And now look at Vitality quickly sweeping through the bottom side of the jungle, looking to try and prioritize that turret and just gain some vision control over that half of the map.
Oh, it's a race to this side of the map. See who can get there first. It doesn't look like Origen are even going to take it. They walk away. Instead, pinging for the mid right now, and the rest of Vitality know that they need to respond in kind, but Nukeduck does get that tower. See what they can do. Steelback clearing the wave away. Just like that. Origen, they kind of melt into the night. These guys Seems like they're trying to play guerrilla warfare, but they're not able to get any kills.
Origen are just really struggling to know what to do right now because,
Okay. How'd that happen?
I mean,
I want to see that one again.
A Hachani special.
I mean, you're probably right, but you know, I want to see the details.
This is 1, 5, and 4. This guy dies a lot.
Yeah,
like a lot.
We saw about how much earlier. Poor Hachani. You really can't face check, man.
Well, speaking of face checking.
Cabochard nearly did it. Wisdom gets knocked away, but NaeHyun is right on his tail. The spikes don't connect. He walks it out this time. The big hammer's enough to knock the bug out of range. A lot of vision for Origen in this top side. Jungle, let's take a look at that kill again.
So Hachani in the mid lane, alone. He knows that his jungler's nearby. Walks right next to a wall, over the... Hachani, please! This is the classic, guys, I died warding. Like, this is not my fault. No, it definitely is your fault, Hachani. There are just so many safer ways to do it. Move with your jungler. Or just make sure that you have pressure that allows you to, if you do go for that ward and someone tries to get a collapse, at least you're going to get the support that you need. It's just greedy warding. It's very easily punishable by Vitality, and they've, by Origen, and they've consistently done it. I mean, it's why they have a kill lead right now. Yeah,
despite being down in the gold, Hachani may not be worth all that much, but if they take him off the map, it's one less threat they have to contend with here. So the woes for Hachani continue, and Origen now securing some vision for themselves around the Baron pit. Nobody's really taken a lot of looks at it just yet, but that is about to change. A lot of vision for Origen, trying to clear out Vitalities, but you can see Djoko, Nukeduck, all around this side. They won't give that one up pretty easily.
The thing is, both teams actually have a pretty good 1-3-1 setup. I would give the teamfight edge ever so slightly over to Origen, simply because of right now in the game, the Trinity 4 spike for NaeHyun and the power of Rumble in these teamfights is something that you really can't afford to ignore. Yes, there's a Ryze, but I feel like that a Caitlyn's impact at this point in the game wouldn't really be enough of a deciding factor to swing things one way or the other. So I think these teamfights have a lot of potential to be pretty close. So both teams are kind of avoiding it. They're playing much more towards the map. And the problem for Vitality is I feel that even with the gold lead that they have, every time they set up vision to play around an objective, someone gets caught out of position. Usually it's Hachani.
I was going to say someone?
It's not always Hachani, because we've seen Cabo getting collapsed down in the top lane, you know? We have seen Djoko being a little bit over-aggressive in the top jungle. Many times we've just seen Vitality overstep their boundaries, and Origen have been biting back.
Yep, definitely clutch there. So Tabzz has had himself a pretty solid game, and a big part of it was the triple kill. He was effectively fed down in that bottom lane way early on in this game. As 25 minutes, it's definitely manifested in about half an item advantage. But a lot of the damage is coming out of Satorius' side. Djoko steps into the Void Spikes. Wisdom is still hanging tough, and he had such a rough early game. Trying to bounce back the best he can. He's still sitting on tier 1 boots. Let's see what he can get done here. As the vision game continues to be the name of it for now. Dancing around this Baron pit, a good old European special.
Looking at Origen right now, they actually have a lot of priority hanging around this Baron area. A lot of the vision is coming out from Vitality, but they're just trying to maintain. Oh no, they're just going to try and rush it. There's a ward in the pit.
Yeah, they're not even clearing it out. Wisdom is not even going to stop this. They don't want to waste the auto attacks, but now teleport coming in. Hachani around the side.
Here we go, here we go.
Oh, they got it down, but they got the Baron. It's secure. They give one life, but they're trapped in the pit. In comes Cabo. Down goes NaeHyun. Vitality looking for the punish, and Wisdom. No, he threads it. Satorius doesn't tank, and now he's going down. 4 members for the Baron. I hope it was worth it, boys.
Oh, Origen, you tried to go for the rush, Baron. There was a ward in the pit. What were you expecting Vitality to do? Yes, you get the objective. Yes, you take it off the map, but you sacrifice 4 members for the play. And Vitality come out with a 4-for-0 trade.
Hiiva didn't even get to ult or exhaust or anything in that all. Vitality are going to knock down this front door, and the one up top as well. Tabzz has come back, Hiiva's come back, but there's still some seconds ticking on the rest of Origen. One tower is gone. How much can they get from this?
Well, right now, Rumble is still dead. The jungler is still down too. I feel like that the best play is to actually just get the tower and back away.
It looks like they're going to follow your advice this time, Vedius. So they open the base up. Now they're pinging. Origen, rather, see if they can tick themselves another dragon on the map. But I mean, that's a consolation if I ever saw one. Let's take a look at this hectic call again.
I mean, the fact that they just decide to rush it, yes, is ballsy, but how do you get out of this situation? You're being collapsed on by 5 different sides. And all honesty, I just think that the setup, the play itself was just such a massive gamble. There was no bright side for Origen in this play.
No, I want to point out, by the way, that Nukeduck killed Hiiva while he was a cupcake.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't see that every day.
Well, turns out cupcakes are more dangerous than you give them credit for.
Well, to be fair, he'd already sent a Q flying, and then he got cupcaked. But yeah, so Dragon taken for Origen. I mean, honestly, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, it's making the best out of a bad situation. Look, they do have the push right now onto Vitality.
Yeah,
but I feel like
Baron minions.
With a good Realm Warp, you could just go for a flank.
Oh, they should be able to take this one down. Burning low. Let's see if they can get something done. Redemption come in to keep them clean. All right. So they got one tower off that. And remember, the Baron buff was still applying because Tabzz managed to get the hell out of there. But that was it.
So they get themselves a tower. No deaths for the side of Origen. Good. Excellent. They're improving. Get an objective without dying for it. Obviously being a little bit harsh there, but still, Infernal Drake is going to be next on the board. Just looking at what's now available on the map, right? Baron is gone. Dragon is gone. And when you look across the vision, it's actually quite heavily in favor of Origen. What we've seen in terms of team fighting is if you get a 5-man collapse, Vitality can definitely win out. But
you know,
I don't think Origen, I feel like Origen should not allow that to happen once again. I feel like that it's super risky, as we saw.
A rash decision around the Baron has sunk many a European team, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, but we're getting into that 30-minute territory, and it's a 5,000 gold edge, 7 towers to 3. But Origen, they can grab something, but look at this. Immediately, Vitality, they're going to start running down mid.
Really smart play. Only Tabzz has the Baron-empowered recall. The minion wave is going to take a little while to get there for Vitality, and the Rumble ultimate is still on cooldown. But I think the back timing should be enough, unless Cabo... No, he's actually going to fail to interrupt, so I don't actually think Vitality will be able to get much out of this.
Wow, Origen play the game of chicken, and they managed to make it out big. So Vitality, rare step behind for them. They can still keep the pressure on, continually shoving back, but Origen still have some fight in them this game.
The thing is now, at this point in the game, you kind of have to wait for something to respawn, or you try and abuse a map movement that either Origen or Vitality try to make. So we've seen now a couple times, because the problem is if you're Vitality, you could just try and sit top lane and try and force the inhibitor. With the amount of wave clear, hang on, Djoko.
Oh boy, he's running. He's gone.
He's out of there. But is forced to burn both his ultimate and his ghost, though. That's good for Origen, really good.
He's pretty fast. He has the dead man's play too, but Origen do manage to get quite a lot taken off of him, and they go right back to mid.
Now they're grouping as a 5-man, and their big wave clear in the form of Ryze is actually sitting top lane. Okay, this is smart. They have to disengage. Hachani's actually looking for a flank. No idea why. I honestly don't think this is the best way for them to initiate a fight. But this is actually like a 3 versus... Oh, it's a 4 versus 5. Djoko gets locked down.
He has no ultimate, and down he goes. NaeHyun claims a kill. Tabzz taken a little bit low here, but they're standing in the redemption. Nukeduck around the side. They found NaeHyun. Wild Growth is not going to be enough as Cabochard finishes him off to the skies. Hachani's going down. Wisdom will grab himself a kill. The rest of Origen are scattering. Satorius, he's going to go golden, but he's left for dead. Flashing away. Blast Cone. Can they get out of this one? It's a 1 for 2. It's looking like it. Tabzz is low. Nukeduck still chasing. Machine gunning down as best he can. Tabzz will give his life. He was going to fall. And Steelback clips a kill. That's going to be 4 for 2.
Vitality get themselves a fight, even in a 4 versus 5. They're able to turn it around, and this is thanks to the gold lead that they've been able to accrue. And honestly, just a really well-played fight from Vitality. The death times are still relatively low, so the likelihood is they'll only be able to get the inhibitor off the back of this. What they can do is sweep out the Baron vision, go back to base, spend their items, and then just spend the next minute reclaiming control over that objective, and then use that to try and close out the game.
Clear game plan here for Vitality. Origen stayed a little too long and paid for it hugely. See it again.
So you can see, this is where we actually see the power of the flanking Hachani. So Djoko, without his ultimate, without the ghost, ends up just dropping immediately. Nukeduck is doing a lot of work on the side, but all of OG get distracted by Hachani coming in from the flank, and they don't respect the fact that their mid laner just gets popped from the combination of the Nukeduck W along with the slam coming out from Cabochard. When the fight splits up, this is where Vitality can really start to punish, because Tabzz, I feel like he took a bad route there going through the jungle. It makes it so easy for Nukeduck to then come and get the collapse. Hiiva's trying to provide support. and then ends up just being a cleanup for the rest of Vitality.
Yeah, the indecisiveness here on the retreat path, I think, really punished Origen so heavily because they just continually kept going, are we going to go back? Are we going to not? No, we're going to go? Okay, doesn't matter. So, Baron Vision secured for Vitality. Nukeduck did a lot of damage that last fight, that's for sure. See what can happen, Origen. See if they're poking them off. Steelback takes a shot from the piercing arrow. Baron's going to be a huge objective here. Nukeduck still pushing on the bottom side.
He is
and there's
so
a
strong.
Dead Hiiva up top. Satorius, can he deal with Nukeduck?
And a 1 versus 1, no. But it also, that's not to say that Nukeduck can just straight up dive Satorius. Never mind, yes he can. Yes he can.
There's an equalizer, but he's not going to use it. He's going to have to save it for the TP. Collapse is coming in right now. Nukeduck is going to go out of there, but is he gone? I don't know. NaeHyun, oh, he can't go in.
Big shield on top of Nukeduck, but now Hachani.
Isolated once again, Wild Growth and Wisdom claiming a kill with his help from his buddy Hiiva.
And now we're back at square one because Hachani has been caught out once again. This is going to result in Vitality losing all of the pressure. They're in a 4 versus 5. Hachani in just the wrong place again. Like, as a support, he's pretty good, right? His ability to team fight and his laning is very promising, but the fact that he gets caught out so often is making things so difficult for Vitality.
Yeah, all things considered, Origen have basically been gifted a lot of opportunities by picking him off this game. We'll be back in 7 seconds, but Origen have control of the Dragon Pit, and this is an Infernal spawning. This is gonna be huge for them if they can take it down. Wisdom should be able to solo this no problem.
And look at the positioning. Vitality are just backing away. They're not sure if they can contest this. Top lane is pushing in. All right, so Vitality are just going to use this as an opportunity to reclaim some vision around the Baron. That's a bigger objective that they want to focus on. Yes, this is a big damage buff for Origen, but I don't think it's enough to necessarily close the gold gap that's currently sitting there. Regardless, just look at some of the items that have now been finished up. Some people are at full build.
Yeah, they're going to send Hiiva back. Somebody's got to deal with the wave of super minions crashing into the Nexus towers right now, but Origen don't want to give up the pressure on the map. 35 minutes, very tense mode for the game. Nukeduck still pushing on the bottom side, so there's really only 4-on-4 in this mid, but there's a pair of teleports available. In goes Wisdom! Oh, no damage onto Hachani. Never mind, they're going to follow right back up, but Wisdom is going to get isolated, not before he takes down Hachani one more time. Wisdom staying alive. He's got the GA on as well, so now it's a 5v4 for Origen, and Nukeduck's not even in the picture yet. And that drop down says it all, man. Hachani is big. Wisdom now. Oh, he's not going down. Wild Growth's on. They're going to try to keep committing to this Baron, but do they have the damage? There's the red carpet. Djoko, he's running in. Blue team, they're going to spy this one away. No, NaeHyun, he takes it. Cabochard, though, is punishing inside the pit, but it is not enough. Steelback trying to keep this alive. He gets one more shot. Hiiva finishes him off, but look at Nukeduck down bottom.
Vitality end up losing the fight. They lose the Baron, but they end up trading 3 for 4, and they get an inhibitor down in the bottom lane. Difficult to say who really won out on that trade.
I don't know who won. I'm like, my brain is shutting down here.
It's so bad for both teams.
Nobody wins.
Nobody is a winner. But somebody has to claim victory at the end of this.
How right you are.
But Nukeduck making the decision to just commit towards the inhibitor. I mean, when we get the replay up, we can look at it a little bit more. And Hachani, you cannot give him the entire fault.
That wasn't totally his fault because he was with his team.
That wasn't totally his fault, yeah. I want to track if he did actually have his flash on cooldown in that moment, because right now he has it up, but I wasn't sure if in the second it was actually available to him. If he did, I feel like that he actually made a mistake, because he could have flashed out, could have flashed to safety, bought a little bit more time where they maybe could have picked out Wisdom. But instead, it did result in a teamfight win for Vitality. So here we are, we get to see Hachani. Oh, we're not going to get time to find out, because what we are actually just going to focus on is the Baron. The ultimate from Lulu used very early on, but it's still a 3 versus 5. And just a bit of an early smite coming out from Djoko.
Yeah.
And it was actually cleaned up by NaeHyun, which wasn't that bad at all, but the fact that they had to force their way into the Baron pit on top of that Rumble ult is really what made things difficult for them, because so much damage, not being able to shut him down in the moment, just made things so difficult for the side of Vitality.
And Steelback has come online in a big way. I mean, he kind of was the hero of that play before he went down, cleaning up Tabzz as well. Really, really big performance from him at the back of it. We'll see if it keeps happening. Hiiva is going to just get cut through as Cabochard claims the kill. Djoko a bit low. Chains are on. Doesn't matter, they're going to have to back away. Satorius had the equalizer, and Vitality are backing off, but now Nukeduck stepped a little too far forward. So 1 for none for Vitality, but they're low health bars.
Oh, that is a lot of damage from Tabzz.
Oh boy!
Redemption?
Wisdom, he's coming in! Goes pop! And Djoko, he's got no more GA left. He's gonna get taken down by NaeHyun. With the reset, he goes back in, but now tables have turned. Ace in the hole.
But look, Tabzz gets the snipe onto Hachani. Ends up being a 2-for-1 in favor of Origen. And this game just keeps going back and forth. These fights are so messy.
40 kills, 38 minutes. And keep an eye on Nukeduck here. Satorius is trying to barbecue all these super minions that keep on streaming their way into the Origen base. Dragon's starting to become pretty big here for Origen. They've only got the one Infernal, but as soon as they hop out of combat, they get a serious amount of regen.
Pyra, let's take a breather. Let's calm down. Let's backtrack.
All right. How far back you want to go?
Let's go back to the replay first. So you actually see the flank coming in from Djoko. Really good edge of night right here to come out from Tabzz. This completely dissuades Djoko from coming in, but he also acts as a zoning tool to get the collapse down onto Hiiva. Now this Rumble ultimate actually will pay dividends later on because notice how much damage it does to Djoko. Now watch. Nukeduck ends up getting chunked out. Tabzz is going to do a lot of work, and you're seeing the value of this build come to fruition as he just chunks through these low armor targets, and Redemption actually being able to get the kill down.
Yeah, it does damage to the enemy team.
Yes, it does. True damage as well, so it doesn't matter how tanky you are. And then once again, really good snipe onto Hachani, completely eliminates him, resulting in overall a teamfight win for OG.
Yeah. Well, Wisdom, he saw the blood. He was going to be able to hop in and just kind of go, but it's exhausted. He just gets turned around. Unfortunately, he still has had a pretty big impact in this game after, you know, a really rough start for him, being shut down continuously. But none of that matters. This late game down, Wisdom's caught up. Maybe it does. Steelback melts through him.
Questionable decision making from Wisdom. 39 minutes into the game, you're going that close to a wall that you have no vision of. You realize a lot of harass has already been coming out from the side of Vitality, from that area in particular, and you still choose to get caught out of position. So, yeah, question marks. But yeah, I kind of want to backtrack to how this all started, because remember that Vitality had such a great start. Remember how far ahead Djoko was? And then it just descended into chaos. Like, we had such a clean start for the game to Vitality, and then Hachani ends up getting called out of position again and again and again. But it's not just him. Several Vitality members are just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Origen doing whatever they can to punish the mispositioning, and now it's resulted in this 40-minute game. There's a 3,000 gold difference that means next to nothing, and it all comes down to what could be a single team fight that determines this game.
Well, we might get one right here. The Elder Drake has started up. Vitality looking to take this to take it away from Origen and just get a little extra burn. But if they can get in here for the steal, Jungler's not there. It's not going to happen. It's taken and smited by Djoko. Hiiva's going to have to walk away. Yeah, the Voidling's chasing him out. Wisdom just wasn't there.
No, he was not. Remember, he was picked off earlier on. His GA is now back up. OG have to just back away. So with the Elder Dragon, one of the big things that happened most recently was that it was buffed to 2.5 minutes from 2 minutes, so that you actually get some value out of it, so you can go back to base, buy, and then return. Now, it should run out around the time the Baron spawns, but it should be long enough that they can take advantage of, right? The question is, what are they going to take advantage with? Because there's an exposed Hiiva at the top, there's an exposed Hiiva at bot. The problem for Vitality is the same problem they've had throughout this game, which is the wave clear and the poke that comes out from the side of OG. Every time Vitality try to siege, they end up just getting chunked out and they can't commit to the fight. Now, Nukeduck, he has to be very careful right now.
He's going to walk away. Origen, we're closing in, but he's able to get out in time. Djoko throws some vision up top. Cabochard as well, continuing to herd the minions. There's 2 available and open inhibitors on the Origen side. They have not been able to crack the base of Vitality. They've been hanging on this game and putting themselves very close to a lead on several occasions, in all honesty. But the Baron is the big objective on the map. May very well end the game, unless we get another 5 for 5.
Unless Origen just go, let's rush it!
There's literally been, for the past 20 minutes, 2 teams banging their heads against each other at full speed.
It certainly has been. I mean,
and it's been great to watch.
To be fair to Origen, in a sense, it has worked out, thanks to Hachani getting called out so often. But here we go.
6 seconds. Baron spawning. Origen Popping the Ghost Blade here, see if they can rush this one down. Nukeduck is in the base. It is a 5v4.
They're doing it again.
They're going to go for it here if they can. Tabzz taking a shot of damage. The Baron's going low. Vitality threatening. It's a 5v4, but Satorius, he might get caught. This is just way too tense situation. Here comes around more for the flank. No, he's not going to take it around the side, but Djoko's going in. Hachani around the back. Hiiva not going down just yet. Tabzz takes out Djoko. The damage is real. Is it enough? There's a double for Cabochard. They're cleaning house. Wisdom and Tabzz, the last members standing.
And it looks like the Vitality, they've got themselves the team fight win. They want to keep chasing down onto Tabzz, but they may very well just go straight for the Nexus.
Cabochard's got to back away from here. This is so tense. There's minions now on both sides of the open inhibs. Tabzz is going to try to clear.
There's the TP, there's the TP.
Flashes, no heals, no nothing left. Right now, Vitality are going to try to end this one. See if they can do it. It's just Wisdom and Tabzz, 2v4. Wisdom coming around the backside of this. Tabzz, piercing arrow, gonna get dodged out, looking for Nukeduck, not enough. And they're working on the Nexus turrets right now. Wisdom just trying to push him back, but he's not giving as good as he's getting right now. Steelback taking a lot of damage. This one's melting. There's no time left for respawn. Wisdom with a desperate charge has his GA popped. Cabo goes to the skies, and Vitality goes on the board with only Wisdom remaining. He knows he's done. Vitality take the ace. They take the Nexus 2-0.
We thought it would be a more exciting game, Pyra, and we got it.
I'm wondering where you were going there, because I'm like, that was exciting. My heart is going way too fast.
Yeah, I mean, what a way to end it. Origen saying, hey, you know what? The first Baron fight didn't work out. Let's try again. They decided to commit to it. They realized the Ryze was in the base. They had to try and force Vitality to do something. And in the end, it was Vitality that were able to come out of that fight ahead. Tabzz' positioning was very good in that very end team fight. It just was not quite enough to result in the win for Origen.
So Vitality have 2 games, very different from each other. Relatively clean one that rolls ahead and doesn't give Origen much breathing room, but this time around, it was a melee. And Vitality walked away with it.
It really was. It really, really was.
Got to be disappointing if you're Origen right now. They came very, very close, and they looked like they were a team that's definitely learning from some of their mistakes in early week 1.
The thing is, I wonder whether or not it was Origen, because I feel like Origen didn't necessarily play bad. I do honestly think that Vitality were just playing very, very well.
I think especially in game 1 that's true, and they kind of let up on the gas a bit, and a lot of it had to do with Hachani getting caught, as you were so rightfully pointing out. Might get a compilation a little bit later of how many times. But yeah, it was kind of too little too late, and I think the big mistake was rushing down that Baron.
But we say it was a mistake, like, the actual initial rush, because they managed to keep one person alive, actually got them a tier 2 turret in the mid, actually enabled them to stall out a little bit. Yeah. Because it just bought them more time, because the enemy team, Vitality, could not push onto these Baron and Power minions and all this poke and wave game.
There were so many things, and to be honest, like, to unravel the ball of tangled wire that was this game, I think is going to take a lot of effort.
Yeah. Fortunately, we have an analyst desk for that.
We do.
But before we get to that, we have to concentrate on what this means for Vitality now, because they are sitting at 4th place in the group. Origen is sitting down the bottom. It's still only week 2. Is it week 2?
It's been a long week 2. It's been long.
It feels like
it's about to end, though. I've got good news for you, Vedius.
Yes. So it is only week 2, so that doesn't necessarily mean that the standings are locked, because there's many, many more games to come.
But they did it 2-0. Win differential is important.
I don't know if you can call that a 2-0. Like,
I mean,
it is on paper,
but it was a 2-0.
But it was a 2-0. I mean, what a crazy game.
Well, you know, that's about it. So they take the 2-0, and we're going to send it back to the analysts. Good luck, guys. Oh, we're going to wait a minute. There we go.